We started Fight Week yesterday with a public workout for Brook and Golovkin. Went as expected in terms of volume?
Massive. Those kind of events. I mean, we did it for Joshua Wayne. I don't know if you were there or not against Brazil. And it was like, it's the overhead pictures that you look at and you go, a boxing weigh-in, or a workout. Well, it's a workout, but we're trying to change the game, in very similar aspects to what the UFC have done, they kind of lead the way in that kind of activity. So for us, we're looking at the weigh-ins, we're looking at press conferences, we're looking at workouts where it is a public event. But you have to tell the story of a fight. You can't just rock up on the Saturday and everyone goes, so what's this Brook? It's the build-up, it's the training, it's the checkways, it's the press conferences, the sit-down media lunches, it's the workouts, and it's just giving the public a little chance to just get glimpses of them, hear them speak, see them head-to-head, and make your own mind up, because that's what you want. By the time a fight comes around, you want someone with an opinion, because that means they have an interest.
After Brook's workout, he went on the road.
I know.
Is he really pumped for this?
Yeah, big time. I mean, he's so excited. And that's weird because I'm petrified. And I was sitting on the sofa the other night, and I was watching Gennady Golovkin KO Kings on Sky, and I was like, after about 10 minutes, sort of thought, oh my God. But he's not bothered about that. He's excited to fight Gennady Golovkin. Like most people are going, geez, this is a tough fight, or stress himself out. He's going, I feel unbelievable. I'm so excited to fight this guy. If I beat him, and all that's on his mind is winning, I become the biggest fighter in the world. And something's going to happen on Saturday night. I just feel it. I don't know what it'll be, but this isn't going to go to plan. I really don't think there's too much drama. There's too much atmosphere, there's too much on the line, and something's going to happen on Saturday night, and I believe that something will be a Kell Brook win.
Do you think Kell was showing us something different? I noticed during workout he had to switch to side.
No, he does that a lot. He has the ability to do that, and he does it almost. Dominic Ingle's a really good trainer, but a lot of the time, Dominic's role has been somehow getting Kell to 147. His discipline isn't great as a fighter. As he's matured, it's got a lot better. But now I think Dom's able to actually work more. He's got more in the tank to be able to do 10 or 12 round spars. 2 or 3 weeks out from a fight, normally he's sparring like 4 or 6 rounds. He's not eating anything. Everything's about weight, right? Step on the weight. And Kell would say, I'd finish a session, I'd get on the scales. Then I'd go to sleep, wake up, get on the scales. Then I'd have my breakfast, get on the scales. And that's all they had to worry about was making the weight. Now they're worrying about other things, hitting new numbers on the sprint runs, lifting more, loads of different stuff, and he's happy, and like that stuff on the ropes. I'm sort of looking at him going, you doing? But I went back afterwards. I was at the hotel, and he's like, yes, and I don't know, maybe he knows something that many don't, because I'm expecting a war on Saturday night, but he seems happy that he's going into a war, and for me, that definitely relaxes me, because how can you be that confident unless you really believe you're going to win?
Obviously, Eddie, with Kell, I don't want to go into the weight issues. I know we've spoken a lot about it, but in terms of the weaknesses that Golovkin possesses, what are those weaknesses? How does Kell beat him? That's my question.
Well, it's a good question, and that's the question that a lot of people, when they're making their mind up for the Golovkin pick, say Brook's a great fighter, but how does he beat him? I think he beats him with speed, I think he beats him with the jab, and I think don't underestimate the power either, because Brook is a different animal at 160 pounds. He's going to have some serious pop. He's so accurate, his timing is so good. I just think that he could unravel Golovkin, and he needs to hurt him though. He must get his respect in this fight, and if he can't hurt Golovkin, this is going to be a really, really long night for Kell Brook. Do you know what I mean? But somehow, in the early part of the fight, he needs to hit him with that jab, right hand down the pipe, and just get Golovkin, hopefully hurt him, but at least get him thinking, wowzers, this is a real fight, and all kinds of things. How is Golovkin going to deal with the O2? He may love it. It may give him another 10%, or he may lose 10%. We might need those 10%, any percent.
It's similar with Charles Martin. When I spoke to Charles Martin prior to the
but he was
fight,
he fought, yeah.
He said, I love the atmosphere.
But the thing is about Charles Martin is you don't know if Charles Martin is a good fighter or not, or is a world level fighter. It went 1 and a bit rounds. AJ slipped a right hand and knocked him out, and done it again 10 seconds. So he may be good, but what if it was just a great performance? But people don't look at it like that, do they? They go, oh, he was rubbish. So no, hang on. Josh has trained for the Southpaw, he's worked on that shot for 10 weeks, and he's executed it. Rather than go, wow, what a performance. It's the same, you know, if Brook beats Golovkin, people will probably go, he was overhyped, wasn't he, Golovkin? You know, but that's like the natural sort of British mentality. But, you know, I think the key here is the excitement, the anticipation. No one really knows. No one knows how many levels Kell Brook's got in the tank. No one knows how he's really going to be at 160. No one knows, you know, is there going to become a period when Gennady Golovkin, who's had 35 fights and 360 amateur fights, and he's nearly 35 years of age, just becomes a little bit older. I hope so. It'll help a lot.
Eddie, as a promoter, your job is to plan the careers of your fighters. You look at the next 3-4 fights you mentioned about. We'll come to Joshua shortly about November, March, and then Wembley, etc. For Kell, is there a plan?
Not really. It's a good question again. No, it's kind of like all about September 10. We wanted to see obviously how it goes with this fight on the weight. The weight, I keep saying to people, nothing's changed on the weight apart from the 48-hour process or 72 of getting that down to 10-7, and that is brutal. Okay, so everything else is the same. You'll go in the ring at 12 stone, 12 stone 1, 12 stone 2, just the same as you would at welterweight. You know, so and people say, oh, he'll be slower. How can he be slower? He's going to be exactly the same weight. So he won't. He'll be the same fighter. It's just a case of if he's good enough. With Kell, victory puts him. He can fight. I mean, Golovkin again, Canelo at 154. Could even go back to welterweight, which I doubt now. The world is his oyster. You know, lose the fight. You've been involved in one of the highest profile fights in world boxing. You're still a world champion at welterweight. You know, one of the things Kell hasn't done very well is his discipline over the years, where he's ballooned in between fights. Maybe after this fight he turns around and says, I'm going to do that this time, I'm going to go straight back to the gym. I don't know. This is such a big fight, there's so much at stake, that it's really all eyes on September 10th.
And it is kind of a relaxed feeling in his camp, isn't it?
Really relaxed.
Sends him to the house next door.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's like literally I'm on the phone to Dominic going, what's the weight? And he's going, oh, we've got this to lose. And I'm like, hey, are you going to make it? Yeah, it's going to be tight. But that conversation comes 6 weeks out, every day until the fight. So now it's like, and by the way, he's still got 5 or 6 pounds to lose. Yeah. So he's still coming down. Wait till you see him on the scales. He'll look absolutely fantastic. But I'm so excited because I've always thought this kid is a special fighter, and everyone who knows him has told me, and now we're going to see. But you know, people in his gym, Kid Galahad, people like that, come up to me yesterday going, how you feeling? I'm a bit nervous. Eddie, I'm telling you, he ain't losing this fight. And when you speak to them, and they're not idiots, do you know what I mean? They're fighters. So they see it, so there must be something there, and I've always believed there was. Now we're going to see it. He didn't even have to show it against Sean Porter, and he beat him in America. You know, fairly straightforward, like on a good performance, but not really, you know. He was a boy then, really, to be honest with you, and now he's a man. Not talking physical, I'm talking mental. But he has to, in this fight, he's got to be prepared to go to places he's never been before, and a lot of this fight is mental. A lot of this fight is mental, because his skill can take over. But you've got to have the mindset of, this is going to be horrifically tough, and I'm going to get hurt in this fight, and I've got to find a way.